So hello everybody, this is Bhante Joe here, and just here at Bruce Hanscombe Memorial Park in Pickering, and thought to record a short Ovāda for the internet. So maybe you could start by just leaning forward a little bit and arching the spine, and looking about 3 feet in front, and closing our eyes. And can focus in on the breath. Can know when it's coming in, and know when it's going out. If we breathe in a long breath, can just know I'm breathing in a long breath. And if we breathe in a short breath, can just know I'm breathing in a short breath. And can focus in on the breath at the tip of the nose. And if notice any patterns of tension or tightness around the nose or the face, can just let those relax. And can practice breathing in and out from this area at the tip of the nose. And when breathing in and out from the tip of the nose, can try to make mindfulness as continuous as possible, being aware all the way through the in-breath. As the in-breath turns to the out-breath, all the way through the out-breath, and as the out-breath turns back to the in-breath again. Trying to keep mindfulness as continuous as possible. And before we finish meditating, can spread thoughts of goodwill, wishing may all beings all around everywhere be happy and at ease. May they put in place the causes necessary to be happy and at ease. And we can make our minds infinite, can make them unbounded, all the way to the ends of the universe and beyond, in every dimension. May all beings all around everywhere be happy and at ease. And can open our eyes and do a short reflection on the Dhamma. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Sanghaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Sanghaṃ saranang gacchāmi. So, hello everybody. Hope that everybody's having a great day. And just trying to maybe just give my head a rub here. There's actually a cool breeze coming from off the lake, and it's starting to get a bit darker here. And so, you know, there's all these kind of things that change in life, you know, kind of. So, you know, oftentimes you notice this as the season changes, as it goes from, say, like summer to fall. And this is kind of roughly the kind of season where we're at right now. You know, summer's changing a bit. The days are getting a bit shorter, and it's kind of going into fall, kind of changing from summer to a bit cooler weather. And it was kind of bright, sunny day today, but now it's you know, becoming a little bit darker outside. The kind of the light is fading a little bit. And, you know, so the Buddha teaches about kind of impermanence in all things. There's this kind of a verse where monks are supposed to reflect on often, which is that kind of all that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise, will become separated from me. And this kind of seems like a little bit of a, you know, maybe depressing, you know, thing to think about. But the thing about it all is that kind of, you know, whatever a person owns, whatever they have, whatever they've grabbed onto, all those kind of things are always kind of changing. They come into being because of causes and conditions. They arise because they have particular underlying tendencies in place, and then they fall away. And this is the case not just for you know, things like seasons, but for basically like everything in a person's life. Everything that kind of arises in a person's life has these kind of same characteristics. So, you know, the Buddha talks about these kind of things, these kind of 8 worldly winds, you know, kind of gain and loss, pleasure and pain, praise and blame, and status and loss of status. And these things always kind of follow in on one another, you know, kind of you know, gain turns to loss, loss turns to gain, pleasure turns to, you know, pleasant feeling turns to pain, pain turns to, can turn to pleasant feeling, you know. Status can turn to loss of status can turn to status, and anonymity can turn to fame, and fame can turn to anonymity. Whenever a person kind of has one of these things enter into their life, they kind of, you know, kind of like something good, and kind of you get a gain, or you get praise, or you get status, something that people kind of want. You know, you want, desire these kind of things. We have these warm, sunny days, and, you know, want and desire them. But the thing about these kind of things, wanting them, desiring them, grabbing onto them, building up a kind of sense of identity around them, is that when the time comes for them to fade away, then that's when a person suffers. So, you know, there's a kind of, you know, you can see this as a person goes through their life cycle. You kind of have your, especially in the West, you have your kind of like elementary school friends, or whatever it might be, kind of elementary school things that you do, that changes to high school. Then you have your high school friends, high school things that you do, that changes to university. That changes to when people have kids, their kids kind of grow up and leave, then they might feel like an empty nest, and then they retire and they have to leave their job. And so as a person kind of goes through life, there's all these kind of memories that they have, kind of things that they liked, that they grabbed onto, and then those things change. And so long as a person goes through accumulating all these various types of memories, all these various types of past associations, then it's difficult to notice, what it is that a person can do to train their mind in the present. Kind of like, a person who has a bag, and if the bag is empty, they can, very easily go wherever they want. But when the bag gets full, kind of say you put like a stone in it for every memory, every kind of past association, everything that one might want to cling to, then that kind of bag gets full. It gets difficult to carry around. And so this is the way it can be as a person kind of goes through life, as they go from like 20 to 30 to 40 to 50, whatever it might be. A person's kind of memories, their kind of habits, their kind of way of relating to the world gets kind of, can get pointed towards the past, pointed towards the way things were when they were 20, 30, 40, whatever it might be. Actually had a friend of mine, he was saying that his father was 72. He was meeting up with a friend of his from when he was 9. He was like, can you believe it? I'm 72 years old, but I'm meeting with a friend from when I was 9. Because, that's, I guess, the time that people have free to form these kind of friendships. You're kind of 8, 9 or whatever, these kind of things. But when we come to practice meditation, when we come to kind of train our mind in the Buddhist teachings, we don't so much look to constantly have these outward outward kind of pleasant feelings, outward gain, outward loss, outward whatever it is, because these things turn to their opposite. And the same thing, their opposite turns back into those things. And it's in this way that a person gets spun around. They get spun around when they have these kind of memories of good things, memories of bad things, memories of all these various, associations. Until, being in the present, if a person carries around too many memories, can be like a bag of rocks. So I remember one person that I knew, when you kind of go out, talk with them or whatever, they'd always be talking about things that happened like, 20 years ago. There's something in the present moment, like a tree or a vine or, clouds or a breeze, might remind them of something they were doing 20 years ago. But, that breeze is there right now. And so that thing that happened 20 years ago is gone. So when a person learns to train their mind to be more in the present moment, it's not just for the sake of creating fresh attachments. So, okay, we were so happy when we were 20, happy when we were 30. Actually, the funny thing about a lot of these kind of memories is they shoot back to these times like when a person was 20, 30, whatever, 40, 10, 8, and kind of remember them almost as if they were perfect. But if you're really to go back to those times, there's a whole lot of different perceptions that aren't included in these kind of happy memories. Same thing sometimes with bad memories. There can be a whole lot of perceptions that aren't included in them. And these kind of, the more a person thinks about that memory, the more a person's perceptions of it change, the more kind of it molds itself to what one's looking for, and that kind of thing. So in other words, just like today, sitting, if a person doesn't have a serious disease, sitting here, this kind of time right now, whatever it is, can become a time for nostalgia, can become a time for a memory. But what we want to do, instead of looking to, have everything the way it was back when we were 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, we want to look at our life, want to look at the process of our life, not so much in an accumulation of gain and loss, pleasure and pain, whatever it is, but as an opportunity to train our mind to find something that's true, find something that's lasting in terms of happiness, So gain and loss come and go, pleasure and pain come and go. All these things are always circling around oneself and one's life. Indeed, a person's life cycle grows, reaches a middle, and then falls. In Buddhism, arises again. So in all of these kind of cycles, we don't want to be getting attached to gain and loss, pleasure and pain, because it just spins us around in another cycle. So there is this kind of opportunity that the Buddha talks about, where there's, instead of having a kind of a life that's kind of defined by our memories, our associations, a life that's defined by our attachments, the people who are around, the people who are around now, whatever it is, we have a life that becomes more and more defined by an opportunity. It's kind of opportunity to train the mind in a wholesome direction, opportunity to grow in wholesome qualities and diminish in unwholesome ones, an opportunity to train the mind for dispassion. Because, interestingly enough, this kind of dispassion is, I think, is what they call the highest, one of the highest dhammas, one of the highest things one can cultivate. Because it's this very kind of passion for, gain and loss that creates these kind of memories, good memories, bad, there's might be other factors, but it's this kind of passion for them that keeps memories coming up again and again in a person's head, cycling over again and again. And a person, to become kind of more free of those things, needs to relinquish passion for kind of, the past, and to basically be in the present moment. But being in the present moment isn't just because it's a nice place to hang out. Of course, if one is in the present moment, then this kind of baggage that comes from too many memories gets lifted. You can walk around much more easily. But we're actually trying to be in the present moment because there's work to do here. There's an opportunity here to train our mind for happiness, to train our mind in good qualities, decrease in unwholesome qualities, and especially for the sake of this dispassion. This dispassion that causes one to grab on to gain only to lead to loss, grab on to pleasure only to lead to pain, grab on to fame only to have it become anonymity, and the opposite as well. Because the Buddha describes the mind as being kind of, radiant. It's kind of, it doesn't mean it's pure, but it's kind of radiant. It's a bit like these kind of something covered up by clouds, a sun covered by clouds. When these kind of clouds disperse, then the mind seems bright. In the same way, when a person's old thoughts, their past memories disperse, then the present moment can seem much lighter. And a kind of this potential for happiness that comes from practicing meditation can arise. The potential for rapture, the potential for pleasure can arise when one stays in the present moment at ease. Excuse me. So for this reason, the Buddha teaches us to cultivate this kind of mindfulness in the present moment. And when we're here in the present moment, to look at it as an opportunity that's rare, an opportunity we are still alive, however many memories have come and gone, whether great, bad, whatever it might be, then this moment is new, kind of a new moment. And this moment is a new opportunity, because as long as we are able to breathe, as long as we're able to consciously make intentions, then we have the potential to train our mind. Even up to our last breath, we have the potential to advance in the Buddha's teachings. So in this way, cultivating this attitude of staying in the present, relinquishing the past, not grabbing onto the future, one can live a life that's at ease. One can live a life that's more at ease, I guess you'd say. And one can live a life that can take advantage of this excellent opportunity we have. This opportunity to make intentions that train our mind in a wholesome direction, and that cause us to move forward on the Buddhist path, cause us to move forward to Nibbana. Okay, so leave that for reflection, and hope everybody has a great day, and wishing you all the best till next time.